Today we are exploring Southeast Aurora and checking out kind of the Southlands area, a couple other shopping centers, and really just exploring here in the car what the Southeast Aurora area is like and what you can expect on a daily basis while living here. If that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and keep on watching. Welcome back to Colorado Living. I'm Nicole Baker. Today we're going over exactly that. But before we get started, you know the drill. I have to let you guys know I'm a licensed realtor here in this beautiful state. So if you've been interested in relocating, go ahead and reach out to me. My number and email are popping up. If you're not quite ready to reach out yet, go ahead and subscribe. I post videos all about the relocation process and the surrounding Denver metro areas, what it's like to live here, all of the information every Monday and Wednesday at 5 p.m. So go ahead and subscribe, but let's get started in this video. All right, guys, getting right into it. We are actually in the Copperleaf neighborhood now, which is where I live. We're gonna go ahead and head over to Southlands so you guys can kind of see exactly where I guess I'm located. I'm located probably about 10 minutes away, but we're gonna drive just around this kind of general area so you guys can get to know Copperleaf itself. But there's tons of other neighborhoods that are throughout the Southeast Aurora area. But today we're probably gonna be driving through Copperleaf, lots of the Southland area, kind of like that shopping center around there, and maybe South Shore or Black Rock, some of those areas as well. So we're going to be driving now right next to Eagle Crest High School. These are going to be all in the Cherry Creek School District. So if school districts are super important to you and your family, please do your own research. I cannot say if it's, really that good or anything like that. I can just go off of what the stats are, and Cherry Creek is known to be pretty great. So again, niche.com is always in the description below. So I always suggest that to anyone, whether, I don't help with rentals, but if you guys are looking for a rental, I always suggest going on there as well. Eagle Crest is just right here on, I don't know, I'm gonna just rotate the camera a little. There you go, you can see it now. So Eagle Crest is right there. It's a beautiful school, and I don't know necessarily the academics of it all, but if it's really important to you, again, I highly suggest you look more into that. And then this is going to be a middle school right here. I forget what it's called. Again, I don't have kids in school, so sometimes it's hard for me to remember all these names. I remember the bigger schools, like the high schools, but Thunder Ridge Middle School. So Thunder Ridge Middle School, but there's also, elementary schools in this area as well. Tons of different schooling options for you and your family. And now we're just headed right over to a shopping center. This is not going to be Southlands, but it's going to be the closest shopping center to me, which is it's not necessarily a shopping center, but we'll go ahead and check it out so you guys can see what it looks like. And yeah, I will talk to you guys when we get there. Right here on the right-hand side is also Parkview. Parkview is another really nice neighborhood connected to Copperleaf. Copperleaf is, the reason they call it Copperleaf, I don't know necessarily, but how you could tell the difference between the neighborhoods is the Copperleaf neighborhood actually has little cutout leaves in the exterior fencing of the neighborhood. So it's kind of unique, other than some of these other neighborhoods that don't have that. That's really how you can tell the difference if it's in a Copperleaf neighborhood specifically. But Parkview is another really cool area. Right now we're pulling up to Smoky Hill Road, which has lots of shopping throughout, the whole distance of the road. Right up here is going to be a Sprouts, which is very conveniently placed for a lot of people in this neighborhood. And that's pretty much it right here. If you go right, you will be seeing like a King Soopers, a sushi place, you got Starbucks up there, things like that. And then also something to mention that maybe I've mentioned before, but I can't remember, is Centennial and Southeast Aurora kind of overlap each other in a lot of ways. So honestly, I'm not too sure if this is considered Aurora or if it's considered Centennial. And that's the same thing for Copperleaf, the Copperleaf neighborhood that I actually live in. Like, I am in Southeast Aurora, but some of the people in my neighborhood could also be considered Centennial. It really is just like one of those things where it's like, it's a funky little layout right there. Centennial kind of has a little bit of a like really random zip codes everywhere. I don't understand it, but anyways, that's something to keep in mind. If you are okay with Southeast Aurora, you might want to add Centennial into your search, or at least part of Centennial. And then if you want Centennial, you might be okay with parts of Southeast Aurora as well. Just keep that in mind. But now we're gonna head over to the, I guess, hub of Southeast Aurora, which is gonna be the Southlands Mall and all the shopping and things that you have over there. Okay, now we are pulling up to, I guess, the start of the southeast corner of Aurora / Southlands, the shopping area. You have a couple other shopping centers, I would say, that are kind of along those lines, definitely smaller, not considered Southlands, but for the sake of this video, I will consider it Southlands. Right here on the right-hand side of Smoky Hill is going to be kind of just like some other random little spots. You got a Chase Bank, 7-Eleven, there's a really good Indian food place that I can't remember. I think it's called like Smoky Hill Indian Cuisine or something like that, but it's really good too. What other things are over here? Just kind of like those like random off stores, right? And then on the left-hand side after this light, you will have a Safeway, some other little small restaurants, you know, like your liquor stores, just kind of like that small like convenience area that you might be shopping in. And then on the right-hand side, they're kind of growing this right now. You have a car wash that was just recently kind of built. Panda Express like barely just opened. It looks like they're building another thing right there, which I hope is a Starbucks. And then you have a Popeyes that was just recently built, a gas station, and then you have access to your E470 right here. So if you're looking for quick access to the highway, you will want to consider kind of some of the neighborhoods that I'm talking about today, because they're all pretty much within 10, some of them even shorter. We'll say like 5 to 15 minutes of the E470 at different points and price points. So that's really cool. You can probably get into Copperleaf. If you're okay with like a duplex or something along those lines, you probably would be able to get in around 500, 550, depending on when you're watching this video. And then moving upwards, some of these homes in South Shore are going to be closer to that $1 million price point. And here we are, this right here on the right hand side is going to be access to South E470, and on the left side is obviously going to be if you are heading up north, and that is a toll road, so that's something that you guys want to keep in mind as you're looking for homes as well. Is like, yes, you have quick access to the freeway, but are you okay with paying the tolls? That's something that a lot of people don't add into their budget, I feel like, because maybe they don't know about tolls, or I guess they don't understand like how convenient they are if they don't come from somewhere that has tolls. So me coming from Arizona, there's no tolls there. This road, it's not just like the HOV lane is the toll lane. It's all a toll. Like, you can't get on it without paying a toll, basically, which can be very frustrating, especially if you do have to, say, travel to long distances and you have to do it every single day. That kind of thing could add up potentially. So you want to definitely keep that in mind. Now we're really headed into this kind of like, again, the Southlands area, the true Southlands area is on the left-hand side over here. We will be going into there just so you guys can see kind of what the shopping is like. It literally has everything that you could possibly think of. So, you know, your Victoria's Secret, I think, Bath and Body Works, and other just little like, it's kind of like an outlet mall in a way, but I feel like it's different because there's more than just clothing there. There's other things. So we'll go in there in just a second. On the right-hand side though, we will drive over there as well. It's not considered Southlands, but like I said, I'm going to consider it Southlands for the sake of this video. And anyone that lives here is probably going to say it's Southlands anyways, because it's just a little bit more convenient to say. So you have a gas station over here. You have Mod Pizza, Jersey Mike's, Smash Burger, just a couple different like little quick spots to eat if that's important to you. Another thing I love about Southeast Aurora and kind of this like whole little corner is there's lots of like rolling hills. So you have a lot of beautiful views if you're just happen to be coming over in this area. And it never comes off as great on camera as it does in person. I'm sure you guys can attest to that, but there's some really pretty views here. So let me just rotate this camera here so you guys can kind of get a little bit of a better view, I think, of these shops. So you have FedEx, GameStop, Jersey Mike's, which is one of my frequent spots, Mod Pizza, Hair Cutter Place, Waxing Place, Smash Burger, Bank of America, Tire Place, and Panera. That's all the places right here. And then on the other little shopping center, you have Chick-fil-A, Walgreens. What else is over there? Chick-fil-A, Walgreens, you have Firehouse Subs, clothing place, I think it's called like Plato's Closet, where it's like secondhand clothes. What else is over there? Anyways, point being is there's other shopping. I think there's like an animal hospital over there as well, but we're gonna actually head into that Southlands area now, which is like kind of like the star of the show. Another thing I like about Southeast Aurora is the buildings are still fairly new. Like this whole area is fairly new. It's not like brand new or anything like that, but you could still tell, like, I'm sure you guys have been to specific areas maybe in your, you know, home state that you live in now or have lived in before, where it's just everything's a little bit older and you can really tell when you go into those like shopping centers. It's not like that at Southlands, so that's something I enjoy. I prefer to have a little bit newer of a feel. But you guys can comment down below. Do you guys enjoy something that's a little bit older, or do you enjoy something that's newer? Totally up to you. If you're looking for something a little bit older, Littleton definitely has lots of character. Denver, if you're looking to be in the actual Denver proper, lots of character in there, older buildings, that kind of style if you're looking for that. Personally, it's not my go-to, but again, just comment down below on what you guys think. All right, now we are headed over Smoky and we are going into Southlands. Again, some of the shops, just like right here on my left-hand side, are gonna be Chili's. You have PF Chang's on the right side, like anything and everything. This is going to be like your main hub if you live in that Southeast Aurora, most likely, because again, there's just not that much shopping outside of this, if I'm being quite honest. I personally think that's one of the drawbacks to living in Southeast Aurora, is you're not too close to everything and anything, I guess, in a way. You're kind of limited to this as your like main hub, versus like, say, if you live in Parker, you could come here, you could go to Castle Rock, you can go to Centennial. There's a lot more options. But if you don't really eat out a lot and you really are okay with just having like, you're more of a homebody and that works for your lifestyle, Southeast Aurora has beautiful homes, you know, fairly affordable for, you know, living in Colorado, of course. So other places that you have are kind of like boutique shops. You have a Torrid, Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, H&M on the left-hand side, Bath and Body Works, like I mentioned, Victoria's Secret, Tilly's. And then you also have up here an AMC theater. So if that's something that you're interested in, you'll definitely have quick access to that movie theater, which is really cool. You have hair salons down here. You have nail salons down here. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop, which is nice because, again, you don't have anything too close to compare to this. So this is going to be, it's nice that it's all like conveniently placed overall. Right here in front of me is kind of like just like the hangout spot, I would say. So right now they have like a little kids like water park, I guess, for anyone that wants to do that kind of thing. So they have like little spouts that kind of shoot up and kids can come here and hang out and just cool off during the summer, because it does actually get hot here. If you didn't know, the summers do tend to be around 95 degrees, sometimes hotter, sometimes cooler. It just is super dependent. So like right now it's 78 degrees, but coming from Arizona, I feel like even though 78 degrees is super nice, right? It still feels hotter. Like 78 degrees here versus 78 degrees in Phoenix are two different things. And it's most likely because you are closer into the sun. I think that's how that works. I don't know. I'm not a weather expert, but I would say that's the case. During the winter time, that little water park area does become like an ice skating rink. So that's super fun for kids. And they also have just tons of events here for families and, you know, groups of people in general. They have like a wine walk that I've seen down here. They've had just like arts and craft festival kind of things. Again, they have the, what's called ice skating thing. I'm like losing my track of thought because I'm driving and talking and thinking all at the same time. Across from this like main little hub where you kind of go down that main street is going to be kind of an outskirt of other shopping. So you have Walmart, you have TJ Maxx, you have JC Penney's, I believe, down here. Sam's Club, which I know is important to a lot of you guys. F45 if you're into that kind of fitness thing. What else is over here? I mean, literally everything that you could possibly think of is going to be quick access to you. So you have Ross, World Markets over here. What else? Like Furniture Shop, Party City, Five Below. So point being, Southlands has a lot of things. It doesn't have it all. But if you're okay with some of the main shops that I mentioned today, I feel like Southeast Aurora would be a really good option for you. We're going to go and head to some of the neighborhoods now so you guys can see what other areas. I don't actually know. Well, yeah, we're gonna go to South Shore for sure. I don't know if we'll go to, did I say Black Rock earlier? I meant Blackstone, if that's what I said, because Black Rock's a coffee place here. That's funny. Anyways, we're gonna head to South Shore right now, so I will talk to you guys when we get there. Now we're turning actually into Beacon Point, which is another neighborhood that I just drove by and I thought maybe would be a good spot for you guys to check out, because similar to South Shore, very beautiful. As you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see again that great in these videos because pictures don't do anything justice here, but right over this little edge, I guess, is the Aurora Reservoir. So that place is super cool. They have walking paths kind of throughout the southeast corner. So whether you're in Beacon Point or South Shore, you can potentially have access to the walking paths throughout to get to Aurora Reservoir. Sorry, tongue-tied, which is really cool. Again, lots of events go down there. I know that they do, I think, like the fair over there sometimes. I could be wrong about that, but that's something to keep in mind if you do like walking your pets and or just going on family walks, whatever the case may be. You'll have different options for that. I'm gonna change the camera angle so you guys can see a little bit more of these houses. Hopefully that's, yeah, I mean, you guys can kind of see it. Anyways, these homes are a little bit older compared to South Shore, so you guys will be able to really tell the difference once we get to South Shore on, I guess, the difference between the two. Here's another walking path that you guys can get down to that whole Southeast Aurora Reservoir. It looks like a bunch of people are out there on their boats today. You can paddle board over there. You have options, right? You guys know what you guys can do at a reservoir typically. I mean, it's just like as if you were kind of in a lake scenario. These homes all back the open field headed to the reservoir, so they have really amazing views. Anytime that you're going to be close to a beautiful view, right, these homes are going to range probably more expensive than not expensive compared to the other areas throughout the Beacon Point. So just keep that in mind, but we'll keep driving through here so you guys can kind of see more of these housing. And I swear the roads here, that's one thing you'll have to get used to, is The roads are not always the nicest. It's like somehow, some way there's a pothole like anywhere and everywhere you go. I think that's like a common ongoing joke here, is like there's so many potholes. So that's why you see my camera going like this sometimes. But I will talk to you guys next when we get to South Shore. Guys, now we are in South Shore, so it's literally just one neighborhood away, but you'll be able to tell once we kind of go into these neighborhoods the age of the home. And maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know exactly the age of some of these homes, but there's definitely some more new builds in the very back, and some of these are obviously going to be older. But like right here on the left hand side that we just passed, those ones look like they're probably built in the last 5 years. Right here is another path that you can get down to the Aurora Reservoir, and they also have a little pond over here on the left hand side. And then right up here on the left, I wanted to show you guys their new like community center. If I don't include it in this video, I'll try to include just like some random B-roll so that way you guys can see it. That might be their old community center. That's the lake house, but that's not their community center. The community center is seriously so cool. It's like very farmhouse, very modern. You could definitely do even like, I don't know, I think it's pretty enough to do like a wedding there because it really looks over like, I think it looks over the reservoir, and maybe we're coming up to it now, but either way, you can definitely tell some of these homes are on the newer end versus some of them are on the older. And the newer ones are super pretty, very modern looking. If you like that kind of style, lighter colors, some of them like having like the white with the black exterior like trim. Just depends. And then even like this one right here up here on the left, I believe that was the model home, and I think these are Toll Brothers or one of the more like high-end builders out here, but that one's super cool as well. They have different builders out here. They had Toll Brothers, not sure if they're still here. This little sign might tell me. I don't know. They had Taylor Morrison out here at one point. Century Homes is another one. Richmond is super big out here in Colorado. I believe their like main, what do they say? Like their corporate is here. So they have a lot of different locations out here. Headed even more, like this community seems like it goes on forever and ever. Right here is where the new home community is, Richmond, like I mentioned, and Century. These homes are probably starting around at least 700 and going up from there, some in the $1 million price point. But it is a really, really beautiful community. So if you're able to afford something like that, I would say I would live here for sure. It's just dependent on what your budget is. And if your budget doesn't allow for some of the price points that I've talked about today, there are also more affordable areas. All right, guys, I actually did find the new community center right here on the right-hand side, so I'm going to pull into that now. It is very, very pretty in my personal opinion, so you guys will enjoy checking it out. Oops, water bottle fell. So here it is. And I'm just gonna kind of go like that so you guys can see more. Can you see that a little bit? More of the front of it, and that's pretty zoomed in. Anyways, I'll take a picture so you guys can see what it looks like a little bit better. And then you kind of have this overlook right here, which is super pretty. You have a little park over here. They have pools here, which is, again, another really cool feature. You guys, like, I just need you to come here so you can see it for yourself. I try to do the videos justice, but I'm a realtor, not a professional photographer. So you guys just got to get here if you can to see these kind of things, because the views, it's way prettier than I'm making it come across. So let's see, actually you guys can see it a little bit more here. There we go. So it's super pretty, and then again you have like the pool area. I can't go in there because I'm not a resident here, but if you guys do ever want to look at these communities and say you're really, you know, keen on moving to South Shore, you guys can tour these little community centers as well, because you will have access to that. So just keep that in mind if you do want to tour them eventually. I can go in there with you guys as well. Right in front of us, I believe this is a middle school. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. Let's see if I can see a name anywhere. Or maybe it's an elementary school, but either way, oh, altitude something. Let's see. Right here, we are at Altitude Elementary. Yep. So you have another school right here. I believe high school students that are here are going to be going to, what is it called? Cherokee Trail, I believe is what the high school is called. I can actually see it from right down here. It's right next to another little shopping center that you kind of have access to if you are in this southeast corner, depending on how far you're back in there. Like Blackstone, for example, is one community over, so you don't necessarily want to be going to Southlands every single time you need just something really quick from the grocery store. So there is a King Soopers, I believe, right down there. There's a couple other places, and they're definitely expanding it, but there's, what else is down there, like a smoothie place, Taco Bell, McDonald's, a gas station, things like that, so you guys can have easier access to your amenities that you might need if you don't want to head again all the way down to Southlands. But both of these areas are really, really good picks, and as well as Copperleaf. Copperleaf, I believe, is going to be, you know, somewhat a little bit more affordable for people, so keep that in mind as well. And we're going to just drive next to this high school right here. They also have Fox Ridge Middle School. So these high schools are crazy, like they're huge, one, and then also they're like nothing like a high school that I went to. And I'm sure if some of you guys that are watching my videos are even older than me, you'll see for yourself. It's like when you're looking for schools for your kids and stuff like that, like I'm like, wow, that's a high school? That looks like, I don't know, something I've never seen before because it's like so elevated. I don't know if I'm even making sense right now, but it's a really cool school. And again, Cherry Creek School District. So I'm gonna kind of be quiet and show you guys this next shopping center, so that way you guys can see a little bit more of Southeast Aurora. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, pretty please hit the thumbs up down below. It makes me know that you guys like these videos. I feel kind of weird just like driving around and vlogging, but I know that you guys love it. When I moved to Colorado, I probably would have liked these kind of videos too. So yeah, just like it. Let me know that you're enjoying these types of videos, and I will make more. If you have suggestions on what I should post next, or like what area you guys would like me to tour next, go ahead and leave those down below in the comments, and I will do a similar video to this one for those areas. And if you want more content just like this, go ahead and subscribe. I post videos every Monday and Wednesday at 5 p.m. And until next time, guys, I am a licensed realtor here in this beautiful state. So if you're interested in moving here and you have more questions, more than these videos can answer, go ahead and reach out to me. My number and email are popping up. But until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.